I think the public would also be interested in knowing if there is any relationship between the current state of our economy and the current state of our currency with the ongoing land reform issues. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. The Honorable the President.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Yes, there is some who have a tendency of trying to compare our process of land reform with what has happened in other countries. And then they hold that up and say, look at how disastrous it has been in countries, Venezuela, Zimbabwe, and all that. Now, you know, what I often say is, not that we are exceptional. And one is not trying to say that there is any form of exceptionalism about us. But we've always found a way of resolving problems. And some problems which people would have regarded as being intractable, completely difficult problems, we've often found ways of resolving them. We had apartheid in this country. The ANC was formed in 1912. And for 82 years, the ANC was involved in a titanic struggle to bring about the end of the nightmare of apartheid. But it was initially formed to bring the land back to its original people. That was what the ANC was formed for. Now, over time, as the apartheid system became really brutal, we then focused also on human rights. And we said, we want our human rights to be secured, and it became a complete, wholesome, strategic objective of our struggle. But at the real core of it, the issue of land, So in the end, I mean, the strategic objective broadened, and through that, we knew that we had a real fight on our hands, and we were fighting against a well-armed adversary who wanted to liquidate and obliterate the African National Congress from the face of South Africa. In the end, they failed to do so. What we then had, what we then had was a negotiation that led to a sea change of the political architecture of our country. Now, I often tell people that we as South Africans, without being exceptional, will do things our way, our South African way. And if you compare us with what happened in other countries, and I start in 1776. 1776, there was the American Revolution. They were not able to reach an agreement on changing the political architecture of their country, and they slaughtered one another. Thousands of people died, but it resulted in a sea change of the political architecture. We did it differently. In 1789, there was another revolution in France, where they were advocating for liberty, freedom, and equality. And they slaughtered one another. It resulted in a sea change. 1917, there was the Russian Revolution. That also led to the sea change of the political architecture of that country. And in 1949, in China, there was another revolution that led to the deaths of many people. Now, if you look at all these epic revolutions that led to sea change, in the way countries lived and got run, we are the exceptional one. We were able, through negotiation and discussion, to come up with a solution that resulted in a sea change of how South Africa lived and was governed. And in that regard, we can really count ourselves as being greatly fortunate that we did not in the end lose so many lives, but we found each other. Similarly, on this issue, we are going to find a South African solution.
Thank you, Mr. President.
A wonderful solution that will lead us to an end that will be completely wholesome for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. The Honorable Faber. Honorable Mukweli, can I protect you against yourself? Honorable Faber.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We have various bilateral trade agreements with international investors. This thing's not working. Sorry, Chairperson. Much too strong for my eyes, I'm sorry to say. We have various bilateral trade agreements with international investors.